right now.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored on this Tuesday night. At one point today, hashtag Abbott hates dogs was trending nationally on Twitter. That's because animal advocates across the country were shocked to find out Texas Governor Greg Abbott vetoed a bill that would strengthen the law against those who leave dogs outside without adequate food or water. The law also says the owner can't leave that dog on a chain to retrain the animal or a tether with a weight on it. We talked to a local animal advocate about that and the Houston senator who co-authored that bill. And joining us now here on The Factor Uncensored to talk about this veto is State Senator John Whitmire, along with Tama and Tina Lundquist. Glad to have you all here on The Factor Uncensored. So this is one of the rare occasions we've seen bipartisan legislation come out of the Texas legislature, and the governor vetoes it. Why, Senator Whitmire?
I think, I won't try to explain why Governor Abbott does the things he does, but, I'll have a good working relationship with him, but this is one that makes it really difficult to go forward. This is so easy to understand. You're either against animal cruelty and mistreating dogs, or you authorize it. We had a bill that had been a product of the legislative process, Democrat, Republicans, compromise made with rural members that have different lifestyles with their stock animals versus the more dense population of Houston and major cities. It was a well-tuned compromise, and the governor vetoed it. And the only thing he could say is we shouldn't micromanage Texans' lives and criminalize behavior. Isaiah, that's about what we do most of the time over there.
Let's bring Tina to this conversation. Tina, what would this have done for dogs specifically here in the state of Texas that we have now been robbed of?
Well, it would have protected them where we don't have any laws or ordinances that protect animals. Right now, the law that's in place that was passed many, many years ago, 14 years ago, has a 24-hour grace period, if you will. So anybody that does have an animal tied up and it is suffering, that person has 24 hours to rectify the situation. What other laws do we have in the books where you can say, oh, I'm breaking the law, but I've got 24 hours to fix it? So that would have, this bill would strike that. It would also allow law enforcement officers to, Senator Whitmire's point, it would allow law enforcement officers to seize an animal, protect an animal when it doesn't have shelter, when it doesn't have food, when it doesn't have water. Right now, we don't have a definition of adequate shelter. And the bill the law that's in place has never, ever had a case used that supports a case used. So the law that's in place is really, it's useless. And this would have changed all of that and protected a lot of Texas animals.
Tama, are you buying the governor's explanation that this would be micromanaging, or do you think politics is involved, something else going on here?
It's hard to say. We just found out about this on Friday night at 11:30 p.m. And so there's no communication over the weekend, and it's Tuesday. We only know what his statement said. Micromanaging, I don't see that a bill of protecting the animals is micromanaging. That's not my opinion of it. We have thousands of cases of animals dying because they were not protected by shelter. They weren't given food or water. So I don't consider taking care of pets to that basic level a micromanagement. That's not my definition of it.
Senator, go ahead.
And I was going to tell you, Governor Abbott proudly claims to be a friend of law enforcement, which I understand and join him in that effort. Law enforcement asked for this piece of legislation. The Sheriff's Association supported this legislation. Our police departments, as was pointed out, their hands are tied when they drive up to a home and it's either this heated summer days or the winter, and they have to drive off, and it's alarming. So law enforcement needs the tool. I speculate, because I think it's good politics to provide for animals and our pets. You know, the way we take care of the least among us is recognized as a society, what kind of people we are. So it's good politics to look out for animal rights. I'm going to speculate because it's good politics. Law enforcement needs it. I think some powerful rancher, probably in West Texas, is a big supporter of the governor. And he has a practice on his ranch of probably tying up the dogs, stock animals. Someone got to the governor and talked to him, and it was very persuasive. It wasn't based on the merits or lack of this bill. Someone talked to the governor and got his attention. Now, we are going back in the special session. So if we turn up the discussion, the governor can rectify this by putting it on the call, and let's debate it. The support's there on both sides of the House and the Senate.
And, of course, we'll just have to wait and see what happens.